everybody? Welcome to Birds of the Roundtable. We are just roughly 10 days away from the NFL draft, and that's what we're talking about tonight. We are breaking down every key question, every big topic surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles and the 2024 NFL draft. Joining me, he is Ryan Reese. Go give him a shout out on X at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, man. Ready to debate some draft questions here.
Absolutely. This is volume 3. We've actually done 2 of these prior that also involved NFL free agency. Just go check it out. Search Birds of the Round Table. Great Eagles debate. But tonight's all about the draft. Also joining us, he is Shane. Give him a shout out on X at ShaneHappNFL. What's up, Shane? You're muted.
What's up, Dives? I forgot I muted myself to cough earlier, so we're off to a great start here.
No worries, man. No worries, of course. Guys, if you're watching us live, be sure to comment, give your thoughts on some of these questions. The way this works is we're going to throw it to the wheel spinner. The wheel spinner is going to select the choice of the question. Each person will get 30 seconds to give or make their point, and the judge will vote the winner. Whoever gets 4 victories wins the game. There's no win. There's no prize. It's all make believe. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
wait, my prize isn't already in the mail for last week?
Did you win last week or the week prior? I forget. I don't even remember.
I did. Ryan accidentally gave me a point because he thought we were playing to 5.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I totally screwed up.
We have Miss Chris in the house saying, alrighty, we have 2 weeks until the draft. Time to get serious. Marshawn muted in 2024 should be the ground for a citizen's arrest. Oh my God. And how about we do it differently? Let's do it segment by segment based on position of need. Maybe that question will come up. Maybe it won't. It'll be determined by the wheel spinner.
Fate.
Go ahead. Fate.
By fate.
Real quick, we will be doing a watch party for day 1, day 2, and day 3 of the NFL draft. Everything you need to know from scouting reports to spider charts to NFL draft trivia and grades. Shane thought of a really fun way to do a twist on the grades, which would be more based on value, which we can't wait to announce. But make sure you join us 7 o'clock, April 25th. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see you there. That being said, let's get this party started. I think, Shane, you won last time, so I feel like you should be the one that goes, or I guess judges first. So let me hide this. How do I hide this? There we go. So no one can see the question.
I already screenshotted it.
Shane, this is your first question of the night.
Okay, the last 3 years, the Eagles have drafted at least 2 players from the team that won the national championship. Which player/players from Michigan is most likely to be in midnight green in 2024? Okay, so I'll keep the time on my phone since we were having issues with the timer earlier. So do you want me to pop up the Michigan prospects from the big board? Do we want to showcase the big board here?
I say we utilize the draft guide as much as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will pull this up, and Ryan, I'll let you think about it here while I pull it up because you're going to go first here.
So just pick one player.
So you got one player from Michigan ready, go.
All right, so the player that's most likely going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, I think, is going to be wide receiver Roman Wilson. I think this guy absolutely fits in. We need a wide receiver 3. We need to add more talent to this wide receiver room. It is a very vital, important position that the Eagles absolutely need. And I think right where they're drafting in that second round is a really great spot for Roman Wilson. And depending on how the board falls. Oh, sorry.
All right. So Roman Wilson there for Ryan. You like my high-tech countdown there?
Yeah. Which I was not paying attention to whatsoever.
All right. Dives, you're on the board here. Go.
I could easily say Mike Samerstill, who I absolutely love, but I'm going to go Zach Zinter for the reason that he is a high value pick, probably going to be there late day 2, day 3. Great leadership. He's a plug and play player once he recovers from that injury. But in terms of value, immense value. Zach Zinter is a dog. The Eagles need more dogs in the trenches. And I think it makes the most sense because I think they go high on cornerback at the top of the draft. And Samerstill is probably not going to be a high priority for them.
Sorry, I forgot to give you a countdown there. This is bad. I'm used to watching the screen to see the countdown, see what you're saying. I'm locked in here.
I think you should just start doing like a 5-second boop, boop.
All right, a few comments here. There's some good Michigan players here. Obviously, Junior Colson, Chris Jenkins, Blake Corum. There's a lot of these guys that I could see being potential Eagles down the road, with the exception of JJ McCarthy.
That's good.
So I'm going to give this one to Dibes, though. Zach Zinter, the Eagles love to take linemen, especially, that 3rd, 4th round range, and give guys to, I almost forgot Jeff Stoutland's name because it's been that kind of day, to give him to Jeff Stoutland to mold. Obviously, interior offensive line is a need, especially for depth. So Zach Zinter gets the nod for me here.
All right. Got one on the board. Just like old times, Ryan. Just like old times.
Old times, please. Recent history bias.
All right. Let's see what my question of the night is here. Question for you, Shane. You lead us off, man. All right. Our question is, what is a somewhat realistic scenario for the Eagles at number 22 that you would hate? Ready, set, go.
Tyler Guyton. And I'm an OU guy. Tyler Guyton. There's a lot of things to love. You will hear them talk about Lane Johnson if they make that selection. He's been linked to the Eagles. And he's big and he's athletic and he's raw. And I will absolutely hate it if the Eagles take a player in the first round that will not be a starter this season. The Eagles have to start playing rookies. And so if they take Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma,
time.
Offensive tackle, because I saw somebody in the chat said who he's an offensive tackle.
Yes. We have Marshawn saying Cooper DeJean.
I will dance. I will dance in my office if they take Cooper DeJean.
I have my concerns about Cooper DeJean. I don't think he's a perfect prospect whatsoever. I still think he's a safety. And I still don't think he's got enough twitch and change of direction ability and things like that to be an outside corner against top-notch receivers. But that's another conversation. All right.
I'm not sure about to say, but that's another question.
It might be. I made up the questions. I'm not going to announce them. We'll get to them when we get to them. Ryan, you're up.
So, listen, Shane going first really did steal my thunder here. So I'm going to slightly pivot, and I'm going to say Amarius Mims, Georgia offensive tackle. I think clearly tackle is the theme here. We don't want to tackle right now. We can't – listen, I get that we're all worried about Lane Johnson. We're worried about when he's going to retire. He said he was going to play for 2 more years. So settle the hell down, everybody, all right? We don't need a tackle. Get it out of your head. Stop it.
Time's up. Amarius Mims for Ryan. I agree with Marshawn. No one won this round because you both have great ones. I don't want to see any of those guys mentioned even remotely close to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go with Shane, mostly because I like Amarius Mims way more than I like Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton is so raw, and he's such a project. Whereas the offensive line depth is so good to just throw away a first-round pick like that on a project would be just a straight disaster. Yeah. And I think Shane knew exactly what he was doing there.
I've also been banging the do not draft Tyler Guyton. I watched him play every Saturday drum ever since he was linked to the Eagles. But I'm curious if our commenter here meant that no one won the round because our answers were equally good
I
or
think so.
equally bad.
Probably.
It
Yeah,
could go
that's
either way.
And also, listen, I get it. Lane Johnson gets banged up every little bit. That's why we have backups. I'm not going to waste a first round pick on somebody who's going to sit for 2 years and maybe play 3-4 games in that span.
Mm-hmm.
That's not worth it to me. I'm sorry. It's just not. Worry about it next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate the whole offensive tackle take. Like, a lot of people out there think they can just like magically play right guard, and they could do that for a couple years, and then we'll just move them over to right tackle when the time comes. It doesn't work like that. I broke out the numbers, the total snaps. It was like literally Jackson Powers Johnson, not just speaking offensive lineman in general. And I'm trying to think who else played. There was only one offensive tackle that actually played right guard in college. I have to bring it up, but I don't remember. But I don't. That's just a fallacy. I hate that idea. So
and also why? Well, okay, if we're all worried about
it was probably Fauntinu. It was probably Fauntinu.
And listen, I like Fauntinu, but I'd rather get somebody that is going to be your right guard for the next 10 years rather than a guy who's going to be there for 2 and then have to switch over. Just worry about that later down the line. You have too many needs to be worrying about this crap. It's dumb.
Lonely Bee. Whoops. There it is. Michigan won a championship with J.J. McCarthy, projected to be a top 10 pick, and yet ran the ball. Corum saw 8 in the box all year. I don't understand why people aren't higher on him. He also had an elite offensive line, Lonely. One of the best.
He's also got like almost 700 touches at the collegiate level, so that comes into play a bit as well.
And I'll be the first to admit, like, he was phenomenal in that championship game, and he is arguably one of the best Michigan running backs ever. But he's low on my board, man. And I just don't know if he has NFL traits. I like his change of direction ability. I like his ability to make defenders miss in space. But there's so many other running backs I like more than Blake Corum. Miss Chris says, I like JPJ. Thank you to you guys. That was the first guy you told me about that. Appreciate that. We've been pretty high on that dude for quite some time. All right, Shane, you won. Let's see what your question is.
All right, spin that wheel. All right, stack the top defensive backs based on how you would like to see them with the Eagles from most to least.
It's a lot of defensive backs.
That is. All right, so here's the defensive backs list. I'll sort it by the average here. And Dives, I'm going to give this one to you first. So rank your defensive backs you want with the Eagles here. Ready, go.
Number 1 and number 2 is who the F cares. If they get Arnold or Mitchell, just wrap it up. It is an A+ first round for the Philadelphia Eagles. In that next tier is Cooper DeJean. I still think he's a safety, but he's just a football player. He's a guy that's a ball hawk. He can do and play multiple positions. He can be a safety. He can be in the slot. Nate Wiggins scares the hell out of me, but he's going to be there because coverage-wise, he is as elite as it gets. And then Kool-Aid McKinstry, trade back for Kool-Aid. That's also a home run draft for the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, Ryan, you're up.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to shy away from it like Dives. I'm going to put Terrion Arnold number 1, Quinyon Mitchell number 2, Cooper DeJean number 3, begrudgingly Nate Wiggins number 4, Kool-Aid number 5, and I'll throw in don't forget about Tyler Nubin number 6.
All right, yeah, man, it's tough because I feel like there's I have Wiggins higher than Kool-Aid McKinstry, but I will be very scared if the Eagles draft him,
right?
Because I've got some legitimate concerns there. But I'm going to give this round to Ryan for choosing a number 1. Although I do think they're really close together.
So
actually, Dibes and I each have those guys separated by only 1 spot. Ryan's got them separated by 5. So maybe that's a little bit easier there for Ryan to separate them. But I'll give it to Ryan.
Miss Chris says, why Nate Wiggins? Nate Wiggins is arguably one of the better coverage corners in this draft, but he is razor thin. He is very thin, and he shies away from contact, not good in run support, doesn't like the tackle, and we just spent an entire 2023 season watching Eagles linebackers and defensive backs miss tackle after tackle after tackle. That's why we pause on Nate Wiggins. It's really the fit. But when you get to like Quinyon Mitchell and Terrion Arnold, they're balanced. They're excellent in both facets. They're physical. That's why we like those guys.
Yeah. And also, you were looking at David's there, Shane, not.
Oh, I was. Yeah.
Only down by 2.
I'm going to hide Marks and David's just for the rest of this episode.
Get rid of those guys. They're not even here.
I know we're just talking about the 2024 draft, but I've already started some 2025 draft, and I'll say that draft has 2 corners that are better, I think, than any corner in this draft.
Nice.
That's how good it is.
I will say corners are probably the most volatile as far as who we think were a top 5 versus what they end up being. There's more movement in corners than I think any other position, in my opinion.
Yep. All right, Ryan, this is your question.
Yeah, finally won.
So we all have one.
Yeah. Shout out there. All right, and looks like red. And your gentleman question are, who are the top targets the Eagles could be eyeing if they traded back from pick number 22? Dives, I'll go with you. Who do you think the Eagles are going to target if they trade out of the number 22 spot and go backwards?
I think if the Eagles were to try, do you have the timer? I don't have the timer.
Oh, I don't have a timer.
All right, just make your best guess.
Yeah.
If the Eagles were to trade back, I think the number 1 guy that makes the most sense is Kool-Aid McKinstry. The Alabama, the pedigree, playing against elite competition. He's got all the physical tools. His production definitely took a dip in 2023 versus 2022. Saw a lot less targets last year. But I think in terms of, a guy that could be a CB1 at the next level, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry has everything you're looking for. The other guy that I would love to see the Eagles take a look at is Darius Robinson, an edge rusher. That is a defensive tackle that moved to edge. He's a great run defender. That is something the Eagles need. All right, yeah. So Darius Robinson and Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Okay. All right. Shane, I will have an official timer, so you can go ahead whenever you like.
All right. I'll say the guy that they're targeting if they trade back is Kamari Lassiter. I think there's been a little bit of – I said the wrong name. Start over. Record scratch.
What? That's bullshit.
If they trade back, it's he's the row below on the little spreadsheet here, and I just said the wrong name. Tyler Nubin is the guy that they're likely to target if they trade back. Top safety in the draft, Cooper DeJean notwithstanding, and I'd argue with Dibes on that, but he tested bad. He's played great. And I think he's got the athleticism, even though he didn't test well. I think there's been some hype around him sneaking into the back end of the first round. I don't think he'll be on the board at 50. 22 is a little rich, but I could see them trading back and addressing safety.
Cool. Those are two good ones. I'm going to give it to Shane since he actually just gave me one answer instead of 800 answers or 2, whatever.
It says targets. Don't punish me for no reason.
Okay, you're not wrong. But I just wanted one. Okay, then I wanted one, and I like Newman personally. Remember, play to your audience, right?
All right, Shane, you got 2. You need 2 more victories.
Okay, yes, 4. I'm going to remember this.
What did the Eagles need to focus on in the 2024 NFL draft? Ryan, I'll give it to you first.
They need to get impact players, impact starters. They can't be doing this BS. Hey, let's draft for 2-3 years down the road like they're used to be, doing over the last couple of years. Howie does not have that luxury anymore. You need to draft impact players. You need to get starters day 1 and day 2. There's no question about it. You have so many holes that you absolutely need to fill these now because you have no chance of getting any decent free agents. So get yourselves impact starters. Day 1, day 2. Let's do it.
All right, Dives, you're up.
They need to focus on getting rookies and young players on the football field. They can't continue to draft guys and let them sit on the roster and just get a handful of snaps a game. They need to draft guys in not just day 1 and day 2, but also day 3. Throw them into the fire. Let them learn. Let them grow. Let's see what they got. Let's figure things out and see what we have come playoff time. The Eagles' window is now. They got to go full Kansas City Chiefs, get these guys on the football field on that defense.
Well, now I don't know who to pick because you both said the same thing. The correct answer is obviously offensive tackle and backup quarterback. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go Ryan because he said it first.
That's not fair.
You basically made this. You're both right, but you basically had the same answer as Ryan. So I don't know what to do with that. So I'm going to give it to Ryan this time.
I'm getting robbed for some made up rules.
All right.
Next time you guys both give the same answer, I'll pick you, Dibes. I promise.
There you go. I'll be okay with that too.
It is the right answer. I don't know what else. What else?
I fully expected Ryan to say linebacker.
I thought about it. All right, guys. Which NFL draft prospects deserve more time in the spotlight? Dibes, I'll start with you. Which NFL draft prospect deserves more time in the spotlight?
The guy that makes me scratch my head is Graham Barton. He's a guy that can play all 5 spots on an offensive line. He most likely moves inside. But Graham Barton is, I think, pound for pound, one of the most talented football players in the NFL draft. He's most likely projected as, a late first round, second round dude. But I think he's got some Skoronski in him. I think Graham Barton is a bargain for wherever he gets selected. I think he's a Pro Bowl upside kind of guy. Give me Graham Barton as a guy that no one talks about enough. All the love goes to JPJ. But Graham Barton is legit.
All right. I like that.
All right. Am I up now? Am I on the clock?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Cooper Beebe, interior offensive lineman out of Kansas State. He's 92 on PFF's big board right now. And the reasoning they give for him being so low is his athleticism. He had a 9.28 relative athletic score. He is athletic and he's got short arms and all that, but he is a road grader at interior offensive line. People devalue interior offensive linemen too much. I think he is a tone setter on the offensive line, and I think he's going to make an immediate impact wherever he lands.
Okay. Oh, that is a tough one because I feel like they're very, obviously they're pretty similar, but I will say at least, as far as what I can tell, Graham Barton is certainly in that back end of the first round, top of the second. Maybe he's slipped a little bit lately, but yeah, I feel like Cooper Beebe is just, you can get him on PFF right now at pick 120 every time. That's the 4th round, folks. That's disgusting. So I think it might be Cooper Beebe here. I'm gonna have to go with Shane, unfortunately.
Well, I'm glad Dibes went first because the first guy that popped into my head was Graham Barton.
Don't you love how that happens? What's the score, by the way? Is it 3-2 to 1?
I've only got 1.
No,
I got 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Got it.
Getting destroyed.
All right.
At least we'll have some fun questions for another one of these.
I keep wanting it to land on one of these over-unders, and now it's going to, but it keeps skipping
totally
past him. Over-under on offensive tackles drafted in round 1 of the 2024 NFL draft, and it is set at 5.5. And so I will pull up our offensive tackle board here, and I'll put it on the screen. So there you go. There's the offensive tackles and how we have them graded out. Dives over or under 5.5 in the first round.
Pound the over. This is one of the strengths of the the NFL draft. Troy Fountainu is a dog. Tyler Guyton, I know you don't like him, Shane, but his upside and tools are off the charts. And you even got guys like Jordan Morgan, who I think is an excellent pass protector. The offensive line group is one of the standouts of the 2024 draft. And despite how good the wide receiver class is and, the top heavy cornerbacks are, I think offensive line, there's going to be a massive run on this, especially at the top of the draft. I think we're going to see the top 15 go bang, 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 maybe 4 or 5 in that top 15 alone with offensive line.
I do think it's funny that I'm out on Tyler Guyton, but I've got him ranked higher than either of you guys do. I still got him at 27. I would just be really frustrated if the Eagles drafted him.
Yeah.
So. All right.
We did say offensive linemen or tackles?
Offensive tackles.
Okay. All right.
So, all right, Ryan, you're up.
Yeah. So clearly I have to go with the under. And listen, this is what I was going to go with anyway. Listen, everybody overhypes tackles every year. Everybody falls in love with some of these guys, but then when you really look at them, the success rate of some of these guys in the NFL is poor. Outside of Alt Fashanu and Latham and probably Fuaga, there's really 10 dudes you could probably sit there. I think they'll be lucky if they get to 5 towards the end of the first round. I don't see them getting over 5 at all. There's going to be an absolute trade-up scenario of a lot of teams trying to get skill positions and not going to focus on those tackles. So I think it's going to be 5 at the end of the day. You heard it here first.
All right. Well, by Ryan's reaction when Dibes took the over, I think that tells you a lot of what you need to know. And you were definitely arguing uphill there. And unfortunately, you were unable to sway me there. I'll give this one to Dibes at the over 5.5.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I would have given it to him as well.
Shane, or sorry to say Sean. Why don't you like Guyton?
If this is a throwback, to 2 episodes ago, I absolutely love it because that's amazing. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I'm just in my head canon is going to be that was intentional. And listen, it's not that I don't like Guyton. I mean, he's still 27 on my big board. He's very unrefined. In the world where he hits, his size and athleticism is going to make him an elite player in the NFL. In the world where he doesn't hit, he's just not going to be a good football player. He's very unrefined. He was recruited as a defensive end, so he's fairly new to the position. And so all the technique issues that come along with being new to the position are very present. And while you could make an argument that, that's why the Eagles are a perfect place to draft him because you've got Jeff Stoutland and he doesn't have to play right away. I'm just so tired of drafting guys that aren't going to play as rookies. I think the Eagles have to get younger in an alternate scenario where, I don't know, they drafted a player with their second first-round pick last year that could maybe play defensive back or linebacker. Maybe I'd be more okay with it, but we just can't do the red shirt thing again. So that's my thing on Guyton. I will not kill the team that drafts him on the draft show as long as it's not like before 20. But I just don't want it to be the Eagles.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely agreed.
Yep. All right. I've got 2. Ryan has 2. Shane has 3. All right. Let's roll on.
All right. This is for the win there, Sean.
For Sean. All right. Who is the draft prospect you want to see the Eagles draft the most? Lead us off, Ryan. Who is your guy? Who do you want to see the Eagles draft the most?
It doesn't have to be a first rounder, right?
No.
Well, then it's Edgerrin Cooper. Edge needs to be here in Midnight Green. This is a guy that's going to come in and be your favorite defensive player instantly. This guy has just a absolute dog in him. And yeah, I said it. He's got a dog in him. And he's going to come in and he's actually going to tackle people. He's actually going to do a little bit of coverage. I know our linebackers don't know what that is. But he can do pretty much anything. And we need this position. Coop
for Ryan. Go ahead, Shane.
The player I would most like to see the Eagles draft is Marvin Harrison Jr. You did not say it had to be realistic, but can you imagine the offense with Marvin Harrison Jr., A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in the slot, Dallas Goedert is out there. You've got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Like, you could legitimately put up the graphic of who's stopping this offense, and the answer would be nobody. So Marvin Harrison Jr. in Philadelphia, it will never happen, but I would love to see it.
Awesome. As Bryce just jacked one here.
Oh, yeah, he did.
5-0 Phillies. Love to see that. I imagine, like, you guys both picked really good ones for the sense that, like, if you get Cooper, he's an instant fan favorite. You know, the Eagles finally have a, like, Fred Warner level linebacker prospect, an elite athlete to watch him grow with Jalen Carter on that interior. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. from Philadelphia, the Philadelphia dude being drafted, but it's never going to happen. But that's a fun one. It is Cooper. It is Edgerrin Cooper getting the W.
Let's go,
Ryan. We've mocked him to the Eagles about just under 1,000 times. It's gonna be on day 2. So we are live doing our draft watch party of day 1, but day 2, if he's sitting there and we have picks 50 and 53, dude, there's not going to be enough alcohol in my house during that. When he just, every single selection, I'm going to be just hanging on the edge of my seat until the Eagles pick, or they maybe move up. I'm setting myself up for heartbreak. I know.
No, you're going to see a grown man cry when we don't draft Cooper.
You imagine there's something along the lines of the Cowboys trade up 1 pick ahead of the Eagles.
Why? Why would you say that? Why would you put it in the universe?
Miss Grizz, I'm glad you guys are watching while chatting. Home run, Bryce Harper. Phillies up 5-0 here. Ranger Suarez throwing a gem. We'll have a post game. We won't be on it, but we will have post game here, talking Phillies versus Rockies as they head to the 9th inning. There's at least 4 or 5 kids I would be happy with getting in round 1. All right. Ryan, you've got 3.
Yeah.
You've got 3. Shane has
3.
I have 2.
1, 2?
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay. It's tight race here. Tight race.
Oh my God.
Wait, Dives, didn't we've already determined that there's 0 chance you can win, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this is the position I found myself in the first week.
Because even if you win here, you're going to have to monitor one of us, and
yes,
we're going to win. All right, anyway, not to put a sour note before you're about to give an answer, but what is the over-under on wide receivers drafted in round 1 of the 2024 NFL draft? Currently set at 6.5. Dive, since you are needing the points, I will allow you to go first. 6.5 over or under wide receivers.
Pound the over. Oh my goodness. This is the most talented wide receiver class, arguably of all time. Even guys like Keon Coleman, who I don't even like. I think he's overrated. But the athleticism, the physical profile is just too much to pass up. Overrated guys like Ladd McConkey. Another guy that I think is underrated is Troy Franklin. Could be a surprise end of round 1 kind of guy. A.D. Mitchell is an elite stud. And I think overall, like, this is just a pound the over situation with amazing talent at wide receiver. Just like O-line, I think we're going to see a massive run at the wide receiver position. Even guys like Xavier Legette are first round grades, at least on my end, because that's how deep this wide receiver class is.
Okay.
All right. Smash the under. Smash the under. Right now on draft books, it's like minus 260 to go under 6.5. The big three are going to go probably in the top 10. And then after that, I think Brian Thomas is that clear second tier. And then it's just so many receivers. And I think teams are going to feel like they can wait on receiver because even if that one they really kind of like is gone, there's going to be 4 more guys there in the second round. So I think you're going to see a lot of tackles. You're going to see a lot of defensive backs early. I think you're going to see wide receivers slip a little bit. So I think A.D. Mitchell probably goes in the first round. That gets you to 5. Maybe you get a 6th. I just don't see you getting to 7.
All right. So, yeah, those are both well thought out arguments.
I also feel attacked when you said that Ladd McConkey is overrated when I have him at 34. and you have him at 70.
I like Ladd a lot, but I just don't buy the hype. I don't see a lot of differences between guys like him and Roman Wilson. And I look at a guy like Malachi Corley, who people don't talk enough about. And I think Corley's got a little more juice. So this is just my take.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, I do think there are enough teams in the back third of the draft that do really need wide receivers that I think people are going to reach on them because I don't think they're going to be available at the back end of the second. So I'm kind of with Dives here. I think we might hit a 7th here when it comes to 32 and the Chiefs selecting, Troy Franklin or something. So, yeah, I think I got to go with Dives here, but you both made really good points, honestly.
Yep. All right. And this is for the ship. Here we go.
What is it gonna be?
Let's find out. The Wheel of Death. Suarez going for the complete game, by the way.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
I know.
Oh, boy.
Whoa, this is fun. Okay. Over under on the first running back selected in the 2024 NFL draft.
That's a really good question.
So I set it at 75.5, which is basically mid-third round. Ryan.
Oh, yeah. We are smashing that under, baby.
Timeout. Clarify terms. Does under mean before 75 or does under mean? Okay,
yes,
just making sure we're on the same page. Go continue. I always get confused with the over-under on a draft position.
I got it. That's understandable. No, absolutely. Somebody, and again, I understand there may not be a clear running back one, and a lot of different teams have, their options here, but somebody is going to absolutely grab a running back in the back end of the second round, early third, without an absolute doubt. The simple fact is that you're not paying running backs any money anyway. You can get a guy in the middle of day 2 and even pay him even less, and then use him up for four years, get somebody new in 4 years later. It does not matter. Running backs are replaceable. So why not go ahead and get one of the best ones off the board and onto your team?
All right. Ryan with the under. Shane, what are you doing? You got to go.
All right, well, I'll take the over then. And I think teams are starting to catch up to the fact that running back is not as important of a position as was previously thought. And your top guy on the board is Jonathan Brooks. He's coming off a major injury that's going to see him drop down boards. And so I think you're going to see teams waiting at running back. I don't think it's a position. It's not a good draft class for running back. The position is devalued. Players were starting to sign cheaper deals in free agency because nobody wants to pay running backs. So you could actually go get veterans a little bit cheaper this year. So I'm just not convinced this is the year a running back goes even, before the mid-third round because of positional value and the overall weakness of the class.
Davey says under.
I would just like to state for the record that all three of us have our first running back on our big board under 75. Just
Yeah. This is a hard one, guys. Like I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say, Shane, you get the W just for the fact. I just don't buy it. I think the running back class is really bad. I think I'm most high on guys like Jalen Wright and Trey Benson, but outside of those two guys, I would not be shocked to see them fall past 75.5. I just looking at the depth at all the other positions like defensive back, offensive line, not defensive line, but I just think there's a really good chance that they're probably sitting there like day 3, and that might be kind of the conversation. We're like, wow, look, these guys are still available, and we'll be sitting here on Saturday talking about that topic. So I don't buy the talent at running back this year.
Oh no, I agree with you. I don't either. But teams are stupid, and they draft people early. I would just like to state, for the record, for all three of us, to remember this. And when we're sitting there Friday night and we're chatting it up, and that first running back goes off the board, I would just like to take a moment of silence for the lost victory that should have been mine. Just go ahead,
Ryan. We're gonna turn it into a drinking game. That's what we'll do.
Wow.
I will say,
right. Shane, do you have any words of wisdom, victory speech?
Yeah, I would like to thank my mom for asking me questions about football because she didn't understand it, and then I had to learn about it. No, I would actually just like to thank the hosts for picking the other person first half the time, because I won the point when Dibes took Graham Barton, and I was definitely going to take him. And I won this last point, and I absolutely would have said the under on running backs if I had been asked first. So I got some nice breaks there. I also believe a running back will go in the second round, but I couldn't argue the same thing as Ryan did. So I would just like to thank the wheel for landing on the right questions and the host for picking me second.
Davey knows what's up.
Davey says Ryan got screwed. My draft board is not organized yet. Who I want most or value most. That's why you join us on draft night, and we'll talk.
Here you go. There's your draft board.
Yeah.
We will talk about all of it and why not. It's going to be more of an NFL draft kind of general show. We're not just talking Eagles. We'll be talking about everything. In fact, right after this, Shane, what are we doing?
Chalk Talk will be going live shortly after this show with a full first-round mock draft. So Dibes, Mark, and I will be putting on our GM hats and walking through a scenario for the entire first round. So stay tuned. We should be live with that, let's be honest, whenever Mark shows up, but hopefully in the next 5 minutes or so.
Yep. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Thank you to everyone who commented, Miss Chris, Davey. You guys were awesome tonight. The list goes on and on and on. Lonely Bee, Extrice, Trey. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back Tuesday nights at 8. Again, more NFL draft coverage next week for sure. Shane, plugs, final thoughts, time yours.
Yeah, just check out our draft board. We've tweeted links to it. You guys can get a copy of this. You can just look at this one, but if you want to make use of the filtering and things where you can filter by positions, colleges, sort by different people's rankings, you will have to make a copy of it. And you may want to check back at draft night because, we'll continue to make tweaks and update this. You can also, for my players, I'm making videos on my top 50, and you can click links and it will take you to the YouTube videos for them. I haven't got the top few made yet, but I've got 3 of those coming out every day on Twitter at 11, 1, and 3 p.m. So be sure you check those out every weekday in the lead up to the draft.
Awesome. You can also find this at eopsports.com. That's all there as well. Ryan, final thoughts, plugs?
Yeah. Hey, listen, not only do you need to download this, the draft board here for us, you need to join us come draft night. So not only Thursday, not only Friday, but Saturday. Now, granted, I don't think any of us are going to be available Saturday. But
I think I'm heading to the beach. I think we're gonna do like I'm gonna just be up all night Thursday night, Friday night, and then we're just gonna just pack up and head to the beach Saturday morning. Just say we're
awesome.
done.
That's perfect. Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. But you got to join us starting Thursday at 7:00. We'll be talking about every pick as it comes in, live reactions. We'll be doing trivia. We'll be just kind of BSing, talking about certain prospects, etc. So please join us. Tell all your friends, even if they're not Eagles fans, it doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about everybody. Outside of that, check out my show on Monday at 6:00. Football Smack Talk show. Of course, I do Party on Broad with this guy at 9:00 on Mondays. And then usually I'll pop in here and there. So join us. Make sure you're following everybody, especially on X. These two guys are instant great X followers for sure.
X.
Yeah, not X like, as in previous followers.
All right. Anyway, we will be going live right after this. We got multiple shows going down. Yes, Ranger Suarez with a complete game shutout.
Nice.
There'll be a Phillies post game here going down, and then Chalk Talk doing a full first round mock team needs and things what we would do if we were GMs. So be sure to check that out. And I last weekend I covered 11 player prospects in the 2025 NFL draft. So if you want to get a head start on some dudes, these are the top players, which means nothing really because things, as we know, change drastically in a 12-month time span. But some of the top names to know, I'm trying to get at least 20 done before next Thursday. So again, post game for Phillies right now, and then Chalk Talk right now. Why not have both up? Have it on your TV, have it on your computer. It's going to be a lot of fun. So he is Ryan Reese. He is Shane. I am Dives. We'll catch you next Tuesday night for Birds of the Roundtable. We'll see you in a little bit for Chalk Talk. Stay awesome, everyone.